Hey everyone, Shabim here and welcome back to the beginning of season number 2 in our Newcastle United career mode. Right, we've had an interesting start to the season. We beat Man United 1-0 in the FA Community Shield before losing 5-0 to Chelsea in the British Champions Cup, which I can't explain to you, to be honest with you. Because when they then went on to beat Southampton 4-0 in the league before beating Chelsea 2-1 in the league, so I just can't explain that one game. It must have been just a blip. But in today's video, I'm going to go through the transfers we've made. I am also going to have the game against Bournemouth, and we are going to have a look first. It's happened. We're ready. The Worldwide Champions League. We are seeded number 1 because we won our league. As you can see, this is how many groups there are, and this is how many teams there are. And they are from everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. There was a Scottish one there for a second. There we go. So Celtic, Chelsea, some team there from South Korea. Got Kazakhstan. Couple of Swiss, Hearts as well. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Right, let's go into... We're going to do the proper slow automatic draw and get the excitement out of it. Right. So Group A is South Korean. Group B is Swedish, Malmo. C is Leon. D is Japanese. E is Mexican. F is Russian. Where are we going to end up? Not really matters, does it really? Doesn't matter at all. Leverkusen. Does that mean Leverkusen won the German league? I think it might do, you know. Red Bull Salzburg. Juventus in Group L. M is a Colombian team. You can tell when I can't be asked to pronounce the names, when I just tell you what country it's from instead. Liverpool in Group B. A P. We've got Q, ladies and gentlemen. Q is ours. Right. Real Madrid in S. The Paraguayan team in T. Bruges gets U. V is Chinese. W Turkish. X Danish. Copenhagen. There's the Argentinian team Racing Club in Y. Young Boys of Switzerland in Z. Good old Sepp in Theta. PSV get Lambda. Slavia Prague. And Bayern Munich. Where does New York Red City... Where do they go then? Well, I'm confused. And we've got an extra number 1 seed for some reason. Right. Anything interesting so far while I was talking? Nothing major. Colombia and Russia in the same group. That's going to be a hell of a travel, isn't it? Mexico and France. Leverkusen get Ghent. Sparta Praha and Lech Poznan. Czech Republic and Poland. That's an easy trip. New York City and Juventus. That's pretty cool. Right, we're barreling down towards our group now then. P. Liverpool get Bale. We get... International from Brazil. Interesting. Oh, Thun. Bloody hell, from Switzerland. That's a team I've not seen written down in a long time. Independiente get Bruges. Brøndby ahead into China. Galatasaray, Barcelona. That's the tricky group at the moment. Daegu FC get Copenhagen. Ajax and Racing Club. That's an interesting game as well. Young Boys and Benfica. Chelsea get Sepp. Another Israeli team, actually, yeah. Man United get Slavia Praha. Boca Juniors, Maccabi Tel Aviv. Midtjylland getting the Chilean team. Right, we go number 3. Nacional. Where's New York Red Bulls got? They must have been drawn then. Where are they? What are we going on about? So Dortmund are in the group with Leon. That's interesting. We'll go through the groups at the end. I'll give my sort of judgment on each of them. Rosenborg. Tottenham get Leverkusen and Ghent. That's a pretty tricky group, that one. Good to get Tottenham out of the way. PSG as well. Good to get them out of the way. What are we getting? Oh, we're not down yet. River Plate, Colombia, Russia, and Argentina in that group. Portuguese, Mexico, and Argentina is pretty cool. Hearts get Olympiacos and Utrecht. That's not a bad group. Oh, Vitória de Guimarães. We get a Portuguese team. Not easy, but not as difficult as it could have been. Iranian team in there as well. What else we got interesting? Atletico Madrid get Brøndby. There's a Saudi Arabian team in Barcelona's group as well. Sporting are in Copenhagen. Ludogorets. Tractor. Good old Tractor. There's 2 Iranian teams qualified for it then. Karabakh, Azerbaijan. Man United are off to Kazakhstan. Valencia in that one as well. Watford. Watford should qualify from that. Bayern Munich and City in the same group. Peruvian team in that one. Interesting. Aberdeen have got a very easy group as well. Aberdeen is a team that we are currently linked with. Spurs get Celtic. That's a tricky group. That all European, that group. Dynamo Kiev get put in that group. That's going to be tricky as well. Monaco getting Juventus and New York. Corinthians and River Plate in the same group. Wow. It's a big one. That one. There's a lot of travelling for Spartak Moscow, that one. Who do we get? Atlanta. Well, that's not an easy group. Well, it should be a very winnable group for us, but it's not exactly going to be over the top difficult, I don't think, at the same time. There's a Tunisian team. Not many African teams qualified, actually, so it's nice to see a Tunisian team in there. Club Africain. So there's still a few interesting teams left in there. Sevilla being the big one. Kaiser Chiefs are in. Gothenburg and Man United are also off to Chile. So it's just Schalke get Watford, Midtjylland. Okay. Right, so Group A then is Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, Napoli, Nacional and Binacoli. I think it's Napoli's one to win that one. The other three teams have to fight for second place, I think. Group B, Flamingos. Flamingos? Something like that, yeah. I don't know why he keeps taking the names away. I think it's going to be really... Anybody can win that group, to be honest with you. Group C, I think it should end up being Lyon and Dortmund, but you never know. Group D, go on Aberdeen, you can do it. All the way. Group E, Hertha Berlin would be the favourites, I would imagine. The rest are going to have to fight for second place. Group F, again, is a complete fight. I think Dynamo Zagreb might be slightly ahead, I don't know. Group G, Shakhtar you'd imagine, but again, it's a pretty even group. H, again, Marseille you'd think would dominate, but the other three are definitely there fighting. Group I, you'd think Leverkusen and Spurs would be the top two, but you never know. Celtic or Ghent could really cause a problem. Group J, again, all four teams could fight for that. Group K, PSG you would expect, and probably Kiev, but you never know. The other two teams are pretty strong. It's a all-European group, that one. Group L, Juventus and Monaco you think should walk that one. Group M, that's a tricky one, that. And Spartak Moscow got a lot of travelling. Colombia, Argentina and Brazil. It's not going to be fun for them, is it? Group N then, Porto, San Lorenzo, Wolfsburg. You'd think Porto and Wolfsburg would get it. Can you see this? This little line that's messing with me. Let me have a quick look on the recorder. You are seeing that. I don't know what that is. It keeps popping up every now and again, rarely in this game. Group P, Liverpool and Inter. You'd expect to win that one easily. I skipped Group O, Hearts, Villarreal. And that's a tricky group, though. I think Villarreal should win it, but the other three teams will fight for second. Group Q, this is our one. Internacional, Vitória de Guimarães and Atlanta. We should win this group. It shouldn't be too difficult, but it's not as easy as it could have been, shall we say. Group R, all four teams could fight for that easy. Group S, Real Madrid should dominate that, and then probably Braga second, but you never know at AEK. And even some of these Japanese teams are stronger than you think. Group T, RB Leipzig, Fenerbahce I would suggest, but you never know. Group U, all four teams could fight for that, really. Group V, you'd think Atletico Madrid and Roma, but you never know. Group W, Barcelona and Galatasaray, you think should dominate. Yeah, they probably should dominate pretty much, shouldn't they? Group X, Sporting, maybe Copenhagen. Group Y, Ajax, and then the other three will fight for that second place. Probably Sassuolo will get it, though. Group Z, I think probably Benfica, and I would suggest Young Boys. However, the other two teams have got a chance there. Group Theta, Chelsea definitely, and again the other three teams have to fight. Group Lambda, I think PSV should win that one. The other three teams, probably Karabag I think might get second. Group Xi, Man United will definitely win that one in my opinion. The other three teams will fight for second. Group Pi, again I think Valencia will get top, and I think it'll be Boca Juniors. Saying that, Boca Juniors, Maccabi Tel Aviv and Victoria Plitzen are all pretty decent teams. I wouldn't put it past them. Group Sigma, I hope for the sake of England in this one, Watford will win the group, but I think Schalke are going to be very, very close. I think Watford and Schalke should qualify. And finally, Group Omega, this is a big one, this one. Bayern Munich, Manchester City, Sevilla and AIK. I think AIK will come out bottom, and Bayern and Man City will probably fight for first and second, but Sevilla could really throw a spanner in the works. Right, there we go. That's the Worldwide Champions League draw. That is going to mean our schedule is now going to get absolutely hectic. Well, we'll do when I press confirm. Let's continue one day and see what that does for our schedule, because that's going to really mess things up, isn't it? Yep, there we go. That has really changed things up a lot. Okay. So as you can see, we get Atlanta as our first game in the Champions League. Then we get 3 days later, we've got a Preston game, and then another 4 days later, we get Vitoria. That's big, that is. And then we got Internacional, Bournemouth, and It's just going to add a lot of games, isn't it? A lot of games into our schedule. It's going to be very tricky, but it's going to need a lot of players going to get a chance to play. And talking about those players, let's see what has happened in the transfer window. Now, I've not made a lot of big deals, to be honest. Is this frozen on me? There we go. We made a lot of young players again, but I don't really feel like it's worth showing you all of those. I'll show you some of the more expensive. I'll show you all the ones over $1 million, because they're probably the better ones. But we've got quite a few players out on loan. Players sold, though. We did sell Jose Miguel Busquets to Barcelona for $90 million. I didn't really want to, but you can't really turn that down. And Mario Reyes to Man United for $50 million. Again, it's like you can't really turn those sort of monies down. So we did well. Mooney Bossman went to Preston, who are now in the Premiership. He went to them for $6 million. He's playing games for them as well, so he's doing pretty well. Richard Daniel went to Northampton, one of the clubs that we're affiliated with. Rafael Sanchez also went to Northampton. Northampton just promoted into Division 1A, so they are playing games now. A lot of actually players went to our affiliate. I didn't realise how many players went to affiliate teams, actually, to be honest with you. We had, there we go, Tunde Conta went to, I was surprised that Bray Wanderers went for this, but of course now they've all got a lot of money now, haven't they? So Tunde Conta went to Bray Wanderers. Alec Conway went off. It's just basically a lot of young players. I'm not going to, it's pointless going through these. They're all just youngsters that are not really that good, to be honest with you, so I won't go through them all. Also some big names out on loan. There's players I was going to keep, for example, as well, like Novak. I was going to keep Novak this season, but Preston asked to take him on loan as a key player, and I thought, you know what? You're going to play him every single game in the Premiership. That's better than what I can offer, so it was a good deal, that was. And there was also Rolf Boyes, a player I was going to play this season, and they offered to play him every game in the Premiership as well. So I thought, you know what? Let's go for it. So that was the main one. Apart from that, nobody major, really. Patrick Becker went out on loan to Fleetwood, a young Luxembourg midfielder. He might have got some football this year, but at least he's going to play every game for Fleetwood, who are also in Division 1 now. Danny Taylor went to Leeds on loan for the season. Hopefully it will make him a good player for next season as well. So yeah, a lot of interesting players went out. Oh, the Brazilian striker Marcio Roberto also went out to Birmingham, who are in the Premiership. So hopefully he'll come back a cracking player next season as well. Players inwards, we made one massive transfer, and that was Andrea Ferno from Fiorentina. He cost us a lot. He cost us 65 million. We had to outbid Man United for him. So it was a good signing. He's a good player. He's going to probably take a bit of time to get into it, but then again, he's got an average rating of 7.15 after his 2 Premiership games, so I can't moan too much. He's been a pretty useful player. The rest are youngsters. Andreas Rasmussen. The scout said he was fantastic, so I brought him in. He's got really good stats for an 18-year-old. He was only worth like £4,000, but we ended up paying 11 million for him. But the scout was so intent that we got him. Johan Versteeg, 16-year-old. Look at those stats for a 16-year-old. That's incredible. The scout literally said this is the best player they could possibly offer. You know when it gives you a scouting rating of like between 1 and 100? This guy's rating was 99, so I'm expecting massive things from him. And based on his stats now, I feel like he's going to be an absolute superstar. Christian Rose, again another player that our scouts picked up. Young Croatian striker. Can also play on the left mid as well. Again, great stats for his age. Matthias Adamecki, whatever that is. Polish centre-back, again, the scouts are absolutely mad on him. And again, he was 16 when we signed him. And look at those stats. It's pretty damn good, actually, isn't it? So hopefully, there's still a chance he could go on loan this season, actually. That's the wrong way, isn't it, to go? Next up, we got this guy. Another Polish guy, a striker. Again, great stats for his age. Good potential according to the scouts. We got Zoran Dodlek, again another Croatian left winger this time again. Good stats for his age, and the scouts absolutely ate him up. So Adrian Bastaninini. Again, I just went at the racing club, you know. Always seem to find some good young Argentinians. I went for a punt. It looks like he's going to go out on loan. Where's he going to? Back to Argentina by the looks of it. Artur Sochaki. We went big on the Poles this year, to be honest with you. And again, another Pole with good stats. He is a left back, which is good because we don't often get a lot of defensive players. And again, he's got pretty good stats for his age, so I went for it. Emil Yordanov, a Bulgarian goalkeeper that scouts found. And basically, I've been scouting a lot of the under-20s World Cup and that sort of stuff qualification. They brought back a lot of these sort of young players. I'm hoping that the scouts are right on quite a few of them. You're the man I just clicked on. Xavier Frappoli, another goalkeeper, this time French. Again, good stats for his age, good potential, hopefully. Lovro Simic, another Croatian. Look at those stats for an 18-year-old. They seem to all have really high determination stats, I noticed, actually. So that's a good player. Hopefully he might get a bit of football this season. Blair Lowry, a left-back from Hibernian. Again, really good stats for his age of 16. Good potential as well, apparently. Levin Spory, a Swiss striker. We just have a lot of strikers, though. I'm tempted to just cut the niche on a lot of these strikers. He's not actually got a good potential as some of the others as well. Radoslav Dajgradov, another Bulgarian goalkeeper. Got both for the Bulgarian under-20 goalkeepers now, then, I think. Raul Lung, Moldovan right-back. I'm not sure how I feel about this guy, but according to the scouts, he's got fantastic potential. He's actually gone to Rushden on loan for the season. And I think, well, I'm not going to go through all these ones. Is there anyone there I want to show you? No, nothing special, I don't think. Oh, the goalkeeper, Eric Stindl. He was good. 16-year-old German goalkeeper. He's got great stats for his age as well. So we did sign quite a few others, like I said, but the other big player we got was this guy. Free transfer, his contract was up, Vojislav Stepanovic. Just a backup defender, really, for the season with the amount of games we've got to play. That's all it was, really. Anyway, that is the transfers we've made. Hopefully, a few interesting players that you'll see develop more in the future. But we are going to have the one game in this video against Bournemouth, so let's get straight into it. And here we go then. This line keeps going back again over and over again. I don't know why. We are here then with our first game of the season for the videos. We're going to go with Nemec in goal still. I did dabble with the idea of improving on Nemec, but apparently I got a thing for at the end of the season that said he'd come on leaps and bounds this season, so I thought I'd give him another season to prove himself. At the left then, Antonio Luiz continues on. We managed to keep a hold of him last season. We didn't lose him. A lot of clubs were interested. The back two is, I think, going to be pretty solid now for the next few years. Arhan Versteeg, the Dutch centre-back, alongside Marco Costa. I think these two are going to be pretty much locked in for quite a while. As is the right-back, I think. Tom Coates, 19 years of age now. Had a fantastic season last year, and I think he's just going to get better this year. It's just his fitness that might be the issue. He struggled last year with being jaded. Antonio Lazzarini plays in central midfield. An absolute star of last season. He plays alongside someone who had a slow start last season, but became a real first-teamer as well, and that's Patrick van der Ven, the Dutch midfielder. The attacking three then are Nuno Coelho at the left. Again, had a fantastic season first year. Be hoping to continue that on this year. Only 20 years of age. We have got João Ribeiro, the 25-year-old centre midfield in the middle. 9 goals in 37 games last season. Quite a few assists as well. Up the right, you get your first look at Andrea Furno. It's his third game in our colours. And then the striker, of course, is Brian Santana. The interesting thing about this game, well, I say interesting, you guys probably find it very boring, but this last season, Brian Santana was the top goal scorer in the Premiership, and Jackson here was the second top goal scorer in the Premiership. So this should be pretty interesting. The battle of the two big scorers. Hopefully we can keep a clean sheet. We're going to say passionately, though, that we're the favourites and we want them to go out there and win the game easily. Right. We are underway. Hopefully we get a nice win, because we've had a decent start to the Premiership so far. We've won both our games against, well, Chelsea was one of them, which was pretty good. I was quite happy with that Chelsea win, to be, especially after getting hammered by them in the league. I thought beating Chelsea was actually quite a good result for us, to be honest. Right, Coates bringing the ball forward. There's Costa, back to Versteeg, back to Costa. The one thing I like now as a team is that we've sort of built up a rapport now. You're starting to see the lines form in the tactics screen between the players to show they do have a partnership. The centre-back pairing, the midfield pairing, Ribeiro and Santana as a pairing as well. The left-back and the left midfielder, of course. Coates and Furno still quite used to playing with each other, so that's going to take a bit of time to build up. But that sort of cohesion is what can help us out in some of these big games. And it's going to be a much more difficult season this year. We won the Premiership last year. There we go, Brian Santana. We won the Premiership last season, but you've got to remember that the other top 6 teams were all in the Worldwide Champions League. And as we've just seen, looking at the schedule, that's going to add a huge amount of games onto us. An extra 6 games at least in this first half of the season, which means the second half of the season becomes a lot more condensed with league games, and you have to really rotate your team, which is when you could end up with some slightly weaker players playing and drop some points here and there, which is, I think, what happened to Liverpool towards the end. They made a couple of bad results, which ultimately won us the league. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that one, but hopefully with the squad that I've got, which is absolutely monumentally sized, to be honest with you, we should be okay, I think, hopefully. I mean, I should be doing these, shouldn't I, really? But, you know. So, yeah, that's the plan. I plan on trying to utilise some more of the younger players this season as well. Of course, some of the ones that were on the verge of coming into the first team have been loaned out. Like I said, Rolf Boys and the Hungarian left winger, I've forgotten his name now, Nemec. Those have been loaned out. Nieto is on the verge of being loaned out as well. It's a tricky one. I want these players that, if there's a good chance for them to go out and play on loan, like I had players that I wanted to keep this season, and I decided when the offers came in, like I had a few championship offers come in, I said no, I think I'll use them a bit more and they'll get more benefits from that. But then when a club like Preston, they've just been promoted into the Premiership, offer you one of your players to play week in, week out in the Premiership for a whole season, that sort of progression is going to greatly outweigh anything we can offer. So loaning them out is definitely a beneficial thing, but then again, we're going to lose out on potentially using that player when we need them. For example, Boys is English, so he would have been able to use him in the All-English Cup, so it would have been great for that. But it's going to benefit us in the long run. We've got to think of the long run. He's 18 years old. Getting a full year Premiership experience under his belt means he can come back, and next season he could be fighting against the likes of Costa and Versteeg for those 2 centre-back positions. So it's a good thing. I do like the loan system. I think it's very beneficial. We've just got to get the right players to the right team for it to be beneficial. And with the amount of players that we've got in our under 23s and under 18s, we really need to get as many of them out, because they're not going to get as much time playing for the academy because of the amount of players they've got to fight against. So, Ribeiro, go on. It's dribbled in. There we go. 2-0. I can make a substitute now. So we're going to bring on Karl-Heinz Michael. And we're going to take off... I don't know, actually. Going to take off Quayla. I still want Furno to get used to playing with these guys. So I think it'd be good for him just to play the full game, just to try and get his teamwork up with the new team. It's Coates' cross. I don't know. Does it count? No, it doesn't count as an assist because it was... it should count as an assist, really, to be honest. Thinking about it. Makes sense, doesn't it, really? God, this is really glitching out today, this game. I'm going to have to reset it before... I'm going to have to reset it, I think, before I do my next video. Never highlight. Here's Versteeg. Van der Ven moving forward. So this will be our 3rd win out of 3 in the league so far, which will put us in a good position. We want to try and get these points in early, because like I said, it's going to be a bit of a fight with all the extra games we're playing this season. Ribeiro, Santana off the crossbar. Michael saved off the line. Wow. That was a bit hectic, wasn't it? Right, more substitutions. Should we give Darch a bit of time on the pitch? Let's rest Ribeiro, protect him. And then we don't have Holger on the bench, but let's bring on Gary Clayton, because Luis has been booked. I don't want to risk him getting set off. Luis is having a great game as well, so we'll just protect those players. Clayton's at a good position. Come on, see it out. There we go. Right, so Blackburn got a win against Huddersfield. It's interesting. Chelsea. It's a lot of... I like the fact that we're changing 5 teams a season, because it does give us a lot of different players we can see, and a lot of different teams we can see as well. And I think over the next couple of years, like I said, there's a lot of money involved in some of the competitions that I put in place, so it's going to really help some clubs. Like you saw Northampton, they got promoted to Division 1. They spent like 10 million just with us. So imagine what they spent elsewhere as well. There we go. Happy with that one. Right then. Let's have a look at the schedule and see if we're going to come back. We've got a lot of cup games coming up, but I don't think I'm going to bother you with them because they are pretty simple. Like we see, we've got Chatham Town in the FA Cup. I mean, it's not really worth bothering you about, is it really? I think our first 3 cup games are all against really small, ineffective teams, so they're going to be no challenge for us. Here we go, look. Chatham, Alfreton, Spennymoor. So I think what I'm going to do is, this has changed again since the last time we looked at it. I think what I'll do is I'll play these 3 games off camera. We've got no Premiership games now till October. We've got none in September at all. I'm going to play these 3 games off camera, the Chatham, Alfreton, Spennymoor game, and we'll come back for the first 2 games in the Champions League and the game against Southend in the British Cup. Does that sound good to you? Good. I'm glad you're on board. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for our next episode of the Newcastle United Career Mode. Bye.